This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I am. I was getting a bad connection, but I'm good now. You hear me?
I got you, baby. How you
All
doing,
right.
my man? You doing all right?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be home. It's good to be home.
Yeah, that's right. How's the family? Everybody good?
Everybody's hanging in there, just it's always good to catch up with everybody, and it's never enough time.
No, yeah, I know, man. I feel you. Interesting season for the Colts, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's you know the nightmare we've been in here, obviously since Marino, and there's been 4,000 QBs, and
Yep.
now we've got a bunch of people in the Dolphin Nation that have no patience for Tua, and they've given up on Tua, and the dilemma that you guys have gone through, where they were fortunate, they had luck, but obviously that luck ran out, and then now they went with the Carson Wentz deal, and in a way it's kind of like Tua. Both teams took gambles on injury-prone quarterbacks, and right now it looks like the Colts are paying the price for that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, right now in this league, what do you have? You have teams that have really solid quarterback situations, and then you have teams like these that are trying to figure it out. And until you do, you are in the other group. You're in that group that is just trying and scratching and clawing to get to become part of that other category. Now you can piece it together at times. The Colts have done this. They did it with Phillip Rivers last year, won 11 games, went to the playoffs, had a chance to win at Buffalo. But that's hard. You can't sustain that long term, right? You got to figure out a long term solution, and that's where they're both at right now. It is really it was not always this way. It's always been this way on some level, but I think it's become much more pronounced now. And these two teams are a great example of it. What else matters, right? What else matters for the Dolphins until they figure that out? It's the same
Yeah.
with the Colts. Where are you until you figure that out? None of it really matters that much.
Let me tell you something, dude. I was a monster Wentz guy coming out of school.
Yeah.
And when he went to the Senior Bowl, he dominated, he took over, and then obviously he came into the league and he was a monster. I mean, he played some great football, made throws that very few people can make in this league. And then the injuries started, and the injuries have mounted. And to me, he's been a guy that has been, I think he's lost his edge and his confidence because of all those injuries. Do you feel that, and I know he's got more injuries now with the two ankles,
Hmm.
but what is the feeling like in Indianapolis? Because the quarterback is the guy, the head coach was the guy that was with him when he was having success. Do people feel like that he's the guy to reach him, or do you feel like he's kind of been worn down because of all these injuries?
I think he has the right guy. I think Frank Reich is, if anybody can get him back on track, I do think it's Frank Reich. Now, here's the thing: we are not getting the real version of Carson Wentz right now. I mean, he's got two bad ankles. What can we really tell, right? I don't know if he's gonna ever be that guy you talked about. I don't know if he's ever gonna be that guy again. I have no idea. But I certainly can't tell right now, and that's just the shame of it. But then again, that is the dilemma with him. The injuries are, I think, a bigger concern than all of the bad play that people want to talk about. The interceptions and the poor decisions under pressure. To me, the injuries are the bigger concern. When this trade went down, I liked the trade, but I also had a caveat, and I always felt like, okay, but can he stay healthy? That is
Right.
going to be the question. And I thought if there was ever a bigger question, it was that. Because listen, I went back and I watched a lot of tape on this guy, and I will also tell you the first couple of days of training camp before his that was a foot injury in training camp where he had the surgery. We saw that playmaker, we saw that Andrew Luck like guy, and I was like, man, you know what? I can see this working, but again, you got to be available.
Right, right, yeah, and he was special, man. His first couple of years,
Yeah.
he was great. Now, from an outsider's point of view, how do you view Tua? Do you view him the kind of the same way that you're more concerned about his injuries, or after watching him for what is it, 10 games and 9 plays, have you made an assessment that he's not the guy and can't have success at this level? How do you view Tua from an outsider's point of view?
So I want to see more. I think we need to see more. The question is, will the injuries allow that on a consistent basis? It's a very, very similar question, right? There are different stages of their careers, Tua and Carson, but the questions are similar. I think obviously Carson has more of a track record and proved himself at least at one point. Tua is still trying to do that. Now, the other example I can take from Indianapolis is look, rookie quarterbacks develop at different paces. I can give you one example, Peyton Manning. Okay. Peyton Manning had a rough go his rookie year. Okay. He still has the franchise, or excuse me, has the rookie interception record. Okay. All right. Peyton Manning. He's got a gold jacket now, right? And so my point is, and it also, by the way, took him, I believe, 4 years to get to the postseason. So, and that it doesn't get much better than that. I think in my mind, there's, and I'm biased, but there's three quarterbacks in my mind: Dan Marino, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. That's the Trinity. It's the holy Trinity of quarterbacks, right? And so my point to you is a long way of saying it takes time. We don't know with Tua. We don't know. But again, you got to be available. And until he is on a consistent basis, he can't build on what he did last week if he's not available next week, and on and on and on. So it's a process, but you got to be available to be able to stack those performances together, and that's just been his problem.
Stephen Holder joining us. He covers the Colts on a daily basis for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Holder Stephen. How concerned should Colts fans be about the team today, and how beatable are they for Miami? Because I look at it, it looks like 2/3 of the line is banged up or out of this game. Jonathan Taylor's going to play, but he's not 100% overall. The quarterback's playing with two bum ankles. I almost feel like this is the kind of game that Miami can fix a lot of ills. But you tell me, how are you viewing this game between these two teams?
It really is going to be a matter of which team can take more advantage of the other team's weaknesses because they have quite a few. So for me, yes, the Colts offensive line, it's in a bad way right now, right? They're missing two starters, including Quentin Nelson, who basically is the driving force behind their running game. So that is a big impact. I mean, he's the best pulling guard in the game. Okay, so you're going to lose that today. They got to find another way to generate yards on the ground. Now, what I would also say, though, is Carson Wentz is very limited, I think. I mean, last week, I've never seen a quarterback more limited. I really question whether he should have played. The only reason he played is because the backup options were so bad. So he's better this week, but he's not 100%, not even close. So there's certainly some weaknesses for Miami to exploit. However, I think this is an opportunity for the Colts pass rush to get going.
Okay.
Hasn't really generated much, but this is an opportunity. And they're missing Kwity Paye, first round pick.
You mean you're expecting them to have success against that amazing offensive line of the Dolphins?
Call me crazy, call me crazy, but look, I think that's the key. Look, I love Jacoby. I mean, as a guy, and I think he had some great moments for the Colts as well. But I think you can also, he's going to be a guy who doesn't make the quickest decisions. So if you can get some rush on him, I think you're going to force him to check it down, and he won't make a lot of mistakes, but he won't drive that ball down the field. If you can get some pressure, he'll check it down, and you can keep the football in front of you, and that's how you end up like he had last week with 4 yards per attempt, which isn't going to get it done.
Right. Can I ask you something, because you were around Jacoby a lot?
Yeah, know him very well.
And you're right that he doesn't turn over the ball a lot, but he has some brain fart moments, and he's only played a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And he threw an ugly interception by the sideline a couple of weeks ago, and then last week, common sense tells you, dude, yeah, I get you had 5 options. That was not one you're supposed to do in your own end zone. Yep. And again, and so is that a characteristic that he'll have a brain fart moment? He won't make a lot of mistakes, but there'll be that brain fart moment, because that's kind of the impression I'm getting.
I think there's a lot of truth to that, and I also think that he also has a tendency to not take advantage of opportunities. So I'll give you an example. On that play, because I cover the rest of the league too, I went back and I looked at that play, and the safety, and you probably saw this too. You can see it on the film. Isn't there a guy open in the middle of the field?
Yeah,
okay, right. Okay, uh, that to me, I mean, that's just it's unforgivable. You cannot do that. You cannot. It's absolutely unforgivable. Especially a veteran quarterback. It cannot happen. Period. So there are some moments like that. He also has some moments where he can keep a play alive, like almost like Ben Roethlisberger too. And so that's where he shows his value in terms of how physical he can be. He's tough to bring down. Those are really good attributes, but yeah, they get offset when you do stuff like that.
Right. I'm with you. All right, Steven, let's wrap it up with this because I know you got to get to work. What's the prediction? What did you write in the Athletic? What happens today?
So I probably stupidly just said this on our local TV. I give the Colts a slight edge, not because I love the Colts right now. I don't. Uh, my rationale is this: I think they're the more talented team. They're not the healthier team, but I think they're the slightly more talented team. And I think they have some opportunities to take advantage of some things today. But again, I want to see what Carson Wentz look like. If he at least is viable, I think they can make some plays. I love the Miami secondary, but I don't know that the rest of that team is performing at a level we anticipated. I think the Colts have been underperforming, and if they can get at least closer to their level of expectation, they should win the game. But will they get there? Who knows?
Let's see what happens, my brother. That should be
Yeah.
fun. Thank you for taking some time, my man. I'm glad you're in town and get to enjoy a little Miami sun before you go up there and freeze your ass off for the rest of the winter, my man.
That's
I,
right.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking some time, and I hope the family's good.
All right, Oven. Appreciate you, man. Good luck to you and family.
You got it. There you go. Much love for Stephen Holder, man. One of the good people in our business, man. Just a class act. So